Basically, I think people make films about identity, and I think one of the themes right now is really what's going on in the world. I live in Amsterdam. We used to have a lot of immigrants, but now it's a different time. We realize that a new group of immigrants from Syria and African countries are coming to Europe since there's no solution to this huge problem. And I think this is one of the issues that's in documentary filmmaking is quite essential, since it's changing, you know, our perspective of that we are. In the beginning we were just the Netherlands. Then we started to be Europe, and now we are more than Europe. We are global. So this widening of the theme, that's I think now in the documentary field. Well, we are in quite privileged situations that people we can make a lot of documentaries. They can be of all kinds of topics. Can be very, you know, small story. Can be very personal story. It can be a very international story. And we have quite a lot of support, especially the artistic, the author-driven documentaries. Not a series, but really the single documentaries that are supported highly in my country. So we are, let's say, with Denmark and Germany, I think much more privileged than Romania to make documentaries. We have a lot of funds. We are supported by government. We can be supported by NGOs. We can do crowdfunding. Quite some opportunities to make films, to make documentaries. We have television, which of course is most essential right now, but then we have internet. There's a little shift now from the traditional TV program to internet, you know, screening. But anyway, we pay a lot of attention in the Netherlands to documentaries, in making them and showing them. YouTube might be anything. You know, might be video on demand, yes. Or we have the system that if we broadcast a film and you were not able to see it, you can always. It's called the missed program. So if you missed it, you can still see it. So that's all by internet. So you don't have to look in the program when the film is programmed. Like it's tonight at 11:30. It's too late for me. So I can easily see it tomorrow, whenever I want. I think it has two reasons. For the big documentaries that really travel worldwide, I think they are treated as feature films. And many times the distinction between fiction and documentary is quite vague. So they are films for a big audience. And if it's not for the big audience, I think we realized in this 21st century, when it started to be, you know, the beginning of a new, let's say, age, then 9/11 came. And from that, the world has been in trouble, in panic, in distress all the time. I think documentaries are needed to give their opinion, to give their view, just to show it. What happens in the Arab world, we can see it only by documentaries and internet, people who make their own films. I think so. That's why it's more important than ever to show whatever happens in your country through documentaries. Michael Moore, yes, but a little bit, since he's an activist, and documentaries are used as for activism, but not just for activism, just to show what happens. You don't have to be an activist to show what happens. It's a way it's not a way to change the world, but it's a way to make people aware of what's happening in the world. I think maybe if I think about, because everything will be archived in the future, this will be archived. But now everything is on archive. It's hard. It's difficult to miss anything to happen in the world. You know, I remember when you know we had the tragic events with this airplane being shot down in Ukraine. So many people at that moment were filming something in the air. How come that they were doing that in that part of Ukraine? So everything is documented. Everything can be of historical proof in the future. And that's a huge difference between now and the past. Since in the past we still have to look for if there's any footage, like the Second World War. We have footage, but basically it's propaganda footage. And now we have footage that is not propaganda footage because it's filmed without any means. It's just filmed. In the future it can turn out to be very important sort of footage. So it can come from cell phones, from everything. My only advice that I can give is to realize what you are filming. Not just to film, because you have a camera, it can roll and it can tape the sound and images, but to think about what you're doing. So at least to have some opinion about what you're filming. Whatever you do, even if it's your family or your little child or whatever, but just do it for a reason. That's my advice. For me, you know, if it's a strong film, and if the emotions in documentary are true, not false, not provoked, it's stronger than fiction. With fiction you can invent every story you want, you can touch people, but with documentary you can really touch people in a very strong way. Because everybody can feel connected to what happens because it's something out of the reality. I think that's one of the things that documentary can bring to people. Stronger than fiction.